year's Dutch Darts Masters.
First leg, Michael to throw first. Game on.
That's because of their 22 previous meetings. White has won only 5, although one of those was on a European stage a little over 12 months ago when he averaged 105.92 in a win in the quarterfinals of the German Darts Open. And I suppose the reassuring aspect for White is that he has produced some plus averages in both his quarterfinal and semi-final wins this evening. But he will be brutally aware that plus averages will be no guarantee for success in this final. 8-3 the score when they met in Saarbrücken 7 days ago in favour of Michael van Gerwen. Rob Malarkey in the chair for this final here at the Austrian Darts Open, and alongside me, good evening once again to Paul Nicholson.
Well, it's been an explosive start to the darting element of the final after the circus act that is Michael van Gerwen. Now, the board wasn't spinning, but it didn't matter. As long as he didn't stick a dart on the IDMC, that would have been welcome to the Euro Tour.
Yeah, Mikhail Kali making his European Tour debut this weekend in Austria, guitar and all. It could have been one to remember for all the wrong reasons for it.
Yeah. I get the feeling that's going to make it to YouTube anyway. Doesn't everything? Now, MVG looking at a 130 to put down an early mark, and he's going to need it. Ian White needs to hit high here.
140.
Yeah, very well done.
Michael, you require 130.
2 dots up the middle. 1 there. 1 there. And 1 just shy of double 5. Double 5 has been kind to Ian White in more ways than one. People have missed it against him, and he has hit it. He shouldn't need double 5 here, and doesn't. Perfect start from a diamond.
Break of throw for the number 3 seed, Ian White, who is off and running in this final. Jamie Hughes 6-5 in his opening match in round 2. Keegan Brown 6-1 in the 3rd round earlier today. Steve Beaton 6-2 in the quarterfinals. The first seeded player he overcame was James Wade in the semis by 7 legs to 4, and that was with an average of 101.15, and he was fairly neat and tidy on his finishing as well once again.
Could so easily have not been playing today at all, because like you said earlier, Rob, about him taking a vital 2-darter out when Jamie Hughes, he doesn't take that, he isn't here.
Yeah, that was in the deciding leg. He was able to finish off with a visit of 61 on double 18. Hughes was waiting to pounce on double 8s. Only 2 darts registering there for Michael van Gerwen.
Yeah, the point of the dart has to be in the board and registered by the referee. And earlier on in the day,
59.
When Ian White hit a 1-2-6 for the match, the bullseye was pretty precarious and he had to sprint to the board. We've seen it all this weekend.
140.
Well, it was an all-Welsh final last year when Johnny Clayton beat Gerwyn Price just the one stage tonight in the shape of Hugh Ware, our match referee for this one.
He's going to get the jacket. I can imagine Ian White, if he wins this, he would wear that jacket everywhere for the next 12 months. Very much like Sergio Garcia.
I was just going to say, you never saw Sergio Garcia without that green jacket for almost the whole 12 months after he won the Masters.
And ironically, in our commentary position here, we've had some doors right next to us, and they've got a lovely shade of Augusta jacket green.
It's like Butler's cabin in here. Double 16 for van Gerwen. Back on track, back on terms, and he has the break back straight away. Great response by MVG. I don't think he would have been pressing too many panic buttons had he found himself a couple of legs down, but that will help settle him down.
57.
I'm a big fan of looking at ways to maybe make this game a bit more dramatic, and in big games like this, I'm a fan of an idea that just came up when some of us were sitting around a table having a conversation, and at one point in the match for both players.
40.
They could potentially hit a very big red button and just create a noise. And it could be when they're on a match start. It could be at any point in the match. You can call it whatever you like, just to make things a bit more entertaining. A bit like that whole, you know, the 3 X's in X Factor.
140.
And you get the big button. Just for a bit of fun. But this is all about ranking points and pound
94.
sterling to win. And further up the rankings if you are Ian White, but solidifying the gap if you are MVG. He's been world number 1 for a very, very long time now. And he's very used to the pressure of being the premier player.
Well, these two were the dominant forces, I suppose, on the Pro Tour last year. Ian White was the number 1 ranked player on the Players' Championship Order of Merit, and given everything that Van Gerwen achieved on the Euro Tour as well, winning 8 European Tour titles. So it's fitting perhaps that they should come together once again in a European Tour final this year in 2019.
49.
That was a chance for Ian White.
It's been a very good leg for Ian.
A 12 darter, but he possibly will step in for a 13 darter anyway.
102. Ian, you require 32.
And this would be for a 3rd successive break of throw to start off this final.
He's looking better in this final than he did in last week's.
Game shot the 3rd leg. Ian White.
Well, I think that experience will have done him the world of good. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Game on.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to look back on that as a dress rehearsal now, if you like. I mean, it was a very important occasion for him in its own right at the time, but 7 days on, I think he will put that to full value as he tries to find a way through against MVG. But as I said, he's done it before on the European Tour. He's done it before 5 times in total, but in Europe in particular, I mentioned that performance in the German Darts Open last year in their quarter-final when he averaged 105. More points on the floor there for MVG, by the way. But they also met in the German Open in 2017, again in the quarterfinals, and this time it was White who ran out winner again, but this time it was by 6 legs to 1. So, you know, Ian White has got previous when it comes to beating Michael Van Gerwen on the European Tour stage,
140.
and he's in position here.
And let's not forget that they have met in a Pro Tour final where Ian White won 6-0.
Yes, with an average of 106.2.
Who beats MVG 6-0? Not many.
Not many. And he was one of only 3 people, I think, to beat MVG in Europe last year as well.
Is that an on-the-spot question?
83.
It can be if you so desire.
Let me think about it.
Only 1 player has beaten Van Gerwen so this on the European Tour. That is, of course, Keegan Brown.
134. Ian, you require 138.
Yeah, only 3 players beat Van Gerwen on the European Tour last year. Ian White was one of them. Can you name the other 2? I'll throw that one out there for you.
Double.
In the meantime.
12. Oh, Ian White. Sensational. He is the favourite now, and this final is littered with quality.
12 darts hold of throw after those 3 breaks of throw. 2 14-dart breaks for Ian White. And what a start the number 3 seed has made. He's already got the 3 legs that he picked up last Sunday. It's a very different final this time around.
84.
Willie O'Connor.
Correct.
45.
Is there another, just one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, Willie O'Connor beat MVG in Maastricht, and Michael wasn't very well that weekend. No disrespect to Willie, who was a new winner on the tour. Congratulations, Will. Let's see if I can get the other one.
82.
Work my way back through what's happened through the course of 17.
Well, Michael Van Gerwen tries to work through this 411. Got down to 411 after 6 darts. That was very un-Van Gerwen-like.
Brendan Dolan?
Correct, in Copenhagen, round 3. Here in the final, Ian White is looking to beat Van Gerwen once again. That 138 checkout,
58.
the standout moments of the final so far.
Oh, the Undertaker's coming. The lights went out. No Undertaker. It's all right. We're back. We didn't go anywhere.
Well, the lights aren't going out on Michael Van Gerwen's final campaign just yet. But this would just be for a holder throw. And Ian White, to a great extent, is still in control.
I know what it feels like to have the lights go out on you.
I was
on
not
big
going
stage.
to mention that actually, Paul, but seeing as you've brought it up, yep, the first round of the World Championship last December.
Double 16 for MVG. You can see enough of that 16, but
143 rears its ugly head once again.
yeah,
Aspinall took it out yesterday. I think it was Ian White who had a look at this earlier on as well. Whether he did or not, he won't be taken out here.
look at that stone face of Ian White. Even when he missed that 60, he didn't flinch. No flinch from MVG as he pegs that 32, gets within one. Still advantage Ian White. What he would give to just hold on to his throw for the rest of this match. Easier said than done, of course. But he knows how to beat Michael.
140.
Hasn't beat him in a European Tour final though. So in his head he's looking to tick that box and
57.
put himself in an elite list of players who have won more than one European Tour title.
Yeah, there aren't many.
Tim Huybrechts, Peter Wright, Phil Taylor, Michael Smith, MVG.
59.
Get the feeling there's another one that I haven't thought of. James Wade.
James Wade, Gibraltar and Hamburg, yeah. Gibraltar 2014. Here in Austria 2019, Ian White is trying to establish a 4-2 lead over Michael van Gerwen.
140.
Not sure if Ian White relishes the prospect of being the hunted rather than the hunter, but it's a nice split of those. But Michael van Gerwen, you can never shake him off, and Ian White has left himself a bogey number, and in the meantime van Gerwen has just moved into the slipstream and is down to 130.
Ian White is going to leave a double here. He's saying to Michael, come on then, let's see if he can hit this. Missed it in the first leg of the match, but it's the bull this time.
105.
Well, Michael van Gerwen earlier tonight produced checkouts of 170 and 164. Clearly has an affinity with the bullseye, but not there. Ian White looking at double 16. Loves that portion of the board. Ian White normally. That's awkward. That is really awkward. Which way is he going to go here? Well, that's a great indicator of how much he can see.
16.
And almost inevitably he's missed the target, but at least he's got next door. He's given himself half a chance.
Chance extinguished maybe? You betcha. Big moment that. Can't afford to miss 3 clean darts at a double against MVG when he's lurking. And I think Ian White made the right choice there by going high. There was nothing low. So going for the top corner was the right shot. All of a sudden, the beast has been unleashed.
Perfect darts flowing here for Michael van Gerwen. That momentum from the previous leg has carried over into leg 7. And you just feel maybe has Michael van Gerwen weathered the early storm. Ian White has kicked off with 55 in response to that ton 80.
Michael's speeding up a bit. I think he's feeling it now. I think he's saying to himself, foot to the floor time. Ian White's got to stay within his own rhythm and not get caught up with Michael speeding up.
100.
Yeah, can't afford to start being fronted by Michael van Gerwen. Just needs to play his own game and just play the board, not the man.
74.
Well, Ian White, astonishing, isn't it? First 3 European Tour events of this year, he won only 1 match. He was beaten in the second round in both Leverkusen and in Munich. It was Karol Sedlacek who won this Grand Prix. Van Gerwen, 96 away. Well, I'll just try and set this up. 76 away.
Well, by not moving on that second dart, that says to me that he wasn't sure he could hit that 60 from that angle, but he's hit it with the third one. There have been some incredible individual darts in this tournament. Some real brilliance, and I think the double 10 from Adrian Lewis today was the best one, where he hit it from way down to the east. Double 8 in for MVG to go 4-3 up.
8 leg Ian.
Reply now from Michael Van Gerwen, and you just sense there is a real pattern developing here. Looks to have rediscovered his focus, and by the same token has just dropped off the pace a little bit here, hasn't he?
Yeah, he needs to get the 4-4 and then mount another throw of MVG.
134.
Another break here could be very detrimental indeed.
I think
So,
at this point, it's all about how much energy he has in the tank. Now, MVG has done this a lot in his career, of course. He knows how much energy to conserve.
140.
And I think, in a funny sort of way, Ian White will have more energy today than he'd had last week.
99.
Because the more you play, the fitter you get to do this all day long. And I think that's why he's playing better this evening.
well, he's also come through his customary last leg decider once again on the Pro Tour / European Tour. That obvious knack that he has developed over the last 3 years.
138.
Last 4 years now.
170.
It was
Really
once again
sensible.
evidence, and he set that up absolutely perfectly once again. 170 though for White is a possibility, but it's not a possibility anymore.
Well, MVG switching to the 18, not only because the lie was covered,
96.
but to leave 130 instead of 128. This time he doesn't get a shot at the ball or 5-5,
Ian, you require 74.
but this is enormous. He takes this, game on. If he misses, Van Gerwen could be in the distance. Biggest shot of the month for Ian White. Monstrous from Ian White. 4 each. Plot thickens.
And that was a leg which Ian White started fairly sluggishly as well, but he finishes it off with a 74 checkout just after Michael Van Gerwen had missed his opportunity. A 15-dart hold of throw for Ian White, but that is absolutely priceless, as you say, Paul. It was all about just holding throw there and rebuilding again. Couldn't really have afforded to have suffered another break of throw, and he's still very much in contention. The problem is Van Gerwen threw first, so he does effectively have to find another break sooner or later.
139.
But he's still alive and he's still very much involved in this final.
And he still believes as well. When he hit that top, so he was walking back towards the edge of the stage, and he had a little underhanded fist pump to himself, saying, "Come on, I can still do this."
121.
He needs to eradicate darts like that, though. Sorry when you hit one bad shot in the leg, like a 1 or a 5, an odd number at some point.
99.
But when you do it constantly, it starts to become infectious.
Well, both players are averaging over 100. I said at the outset that Ian White is still averaging over 100 in this final, but I did warn everybody that that probably won't be enough, or wouldn't be enough against a player of Van Gerwen's calibre in this sort of situation.
Another loose dart on number 2 there. And it's being pounced on all over the place. Oh, I mentioned the 170, the 164. He's just had a 161 as well, but it was a setup shot.
Which is what we were talking about earlier about the understated nature of these finishes. These low number finishes don't look good when you look at them on paper, but when you see the hard work that goes into creating them in the first place, you just have to stand back and admire. And Van Gerwen, double 12, 2 more clear darts, double 6 instead.
18.
Well, he'll be hoping that Ian White doesn't take out this 164, but you can never rule it out.
It's immensely unlikely. He's had 3 massively pushed darts into the 1 in this leg. He's not going to worry about the 1 here, but he has gotten into the 7.
Shame as well, because he backed it up beautifully with the treble 20.
98. Michael, you require 6.
The Ashdown.
Game
No
shot
problem.
The 9th leg. Michael Van Gerwen.
And that checkout of
10th
6
leg, Ian,
is
to
just as
first
good
Game
as 164 and the 170 earlier, because double 3 is nightmaresville sometimes when you're a bit edgy. You see what it meant to him as well. He showed some real emotion when he hit that double 3, Van Gerwen. That's the good time to hit a 1. Right at the start, just get out of the way.
121.
It's all good, as long as you hit 1-2-1.
Well, you can just see how this all clearly matters to Michael. And he's such a passionate player, and he just loves nothing more than racking up titles, establishing new milestones, creating new benchmarks for the rest to admire and for the rest to work towards, although sometimes it just looks impossible that anybody will be able to ever emulate what Michael van Gerwen's achieving, especially on the European Tour.
I think the European Tour is his domain, and not only because he's got so many titles, but I think he has a number he wants to get to. I think it's 50. I think once he gets to 50,
100.
he may see some sort of regression in his form, but then again, it may be just Michael saying, do you know what, how far in front can I get over the rest of the people in the list? And second is Peter Wright, and he's 25 behind him.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a moment or two. Let's just see what Ian White can do here. 62 away. He was looking for the treble 10 to leave double 16 next time, but maybe a two nation will come to his rescue once again, and Ian White will look at 52.
Well, it'll be double 16, you would think. It wouldn't shock me if he went 12. He missed double 16 last time. Oh, that's really good. That's knowing what's good in the final and what isn't. He had previous with double 16 and decided not to go back there.
Yeah, really good game management that from Ian White, but he's under the cosh already from the word go in this 11th leg as Van Gerwen starts off with a 180.
What a fabulous game this is.
Yeah, when Michael van Gerwen suggested that he was targeting 50 European Tour titles, there were a few raised eyebrows, but I for one believe he can achieve that a lot sooner than you think. And let's face it, he's only just turned 30.
We could do it in a couple of years.
And given the prospect of maybe slightly further enhancement in terms of the numbers of European Tour events,
let's say he gets
I know
5.
we're running out of weeks.
Let's say he gets 5 the next 4 years. There you go, job done.
Well, if he wins this one, this will be 12 since the start of last year.
That's ludicrous.
8 last year, and this would be title number 4 for 2019. So there you go.
Well, right now he's in a game, and this game is just as good, if not better, than the last game we watched, which was White against Wade, which was a belter.
Ian White's average has just picked up as well. It had dipped to about 97 or so, but it's back towards the 100 barrier once again. But again, I don't think he'll be too concerned about averages.
Needs to stay on the 20s, and he's got no angle. How does he find the 60 from there? He may just go big 20.
Well, he's got 190 remaining.
55.
Oh, he's desperately unlucky. There may just have been ever such a slight deflection on the way through as well. I'm not totally sure. As it is, Van Gerwen in position once again.
104.
A bruising 60 on the end of that 3-darter. And as a consequence, Ian White cannot finish the 175 and just ironically hits the first two 60s. Oh, that's got a sting. Van Gerwen now for the lead again. Topsy-turvy match. Starting to even out. And it's battle mode for both guys. 6-5 Van Gerwen. This is special.
Well, if you're ever in any doubt about what we mean when we talk about the timing of darts and how it's a very key component of any sort of successful game plan, that is a perfect illustration from Ian White there. Finding the 180s, finding the treble 20s to get himself into position, but
59.
too little too late. The damage had been done with the previous visit and with Van Gerwen's response.
Has Ian White got any resistance left?
58.
He's constantly chasing Van Gerwen. Has been for a few legs now. This is where the elongated format of the final really comes into its own.
140.
And Van Gerwen, of course, okay, it's first to well versed in the art of first to 7, given his exploits in the Premier League. And that's
174.
Now, that was really interesting because Van Gerwen was on 4-4-3 before that turn. He's thinking about leg management at 4-4-3 after 3 darts. He's thinking 1-3-3 from the 19s to leave 310, 140 to leave 170.
96.
He got the better one, he got the 174. Really interesting to see what he does on certain numbers in the 4s. Never mind the 3s or the 2s.
Yeah, and it's that inbuilt, almost ingrained knowledge of numerical patterns and strategies that really helps Van Gerwen. He's clearly one of the best counters in the business.
He's one of the most amazing treble 19 hitters I've ever seen. And there's more proof of it.
133 to leave tops. 7 19s down to 40. All part of the game plan, all part of the strategy. And it was all part of the insurance policy if things did go wrong. He did have options there.
16s or tops?
Well, he was successful on tops last time. But he's staying on the 16s.
48.
And he's got inside, and that could be a killer blow. Michael Van Gerwen looking at tops for a 7-5 lead. You would never expect him to pass up that sort of opportunity at that sort of stage of a European Tour final. And Michael Van Gerwen is now just one leg away, and Ian White.
Boy, is Van Gerwen good at the end of tournaments. He knows how to finish things off. He knows how to get there quick. Get a chance, take it. And the difference in these two players in this tournament right now is one miss from White and one hit from Van Gerwen. It's that close.
57.
But now that 2-leg gap is telling, and White needs to go 3 legs perfect. He's going to be runner-up again.
Timing. Again, Michael Van Gerwen. Numbers at just the right time. And that's another hammer blow for Ian White, who's averaging just under 99 at the moment. He's playing well. But if Michael Van Gerwen has just found a little extra here, and there we see 104.63, and he's closing in on what would be a 32nd European Tour title. And maybe, just maybe, Paul, he's thinking about securing this 32nd European Tour title by finishing on double 16. May all be part of the big story.
If he's able to do that and think about it in advance, that would be something else indeed.
80.
Well, you can see Michael in the previous how displeased he was with it. He wants rid of this tournament in the next 9 darts. Well, will he get 6 from 144? That's entirely up to the man with the darts in his hand right now. If he puts in a maximum here, power.
Huge, absolutely huge for Ian White. Takes him to double figures for the tournament, but he won't be too concerned about that. The big picture is he's down to 84, and Van Gerwen was not able to check out there. He's left himself 87. This is another telling moment in the destiny of this final here in Graz. And Ian White is now looking at double 12 to get another leg on the board, and it's a break back, and we're still going in this final. It's just continuing to deliver, and Ian White is back involved at 7-6.
Stunning final. Stunning final. And that 84 checkout is almost the only proof that you need of how good Ian White is as a dart player, because he needed to hit that, and if he didn't, that was it.
6 out of 13 on his doubles in this final, 7 out of 14 for Van Gerwen. Very little separating them in those percentages. The averages are almost similar again now.
I'm genuinely nervous watching this game. You can't take your eyes off it.
Ian White will know he will not have a better chance to secure a second European Tour title. He knows what it takes to beat Michael Van Gerwen on the European Tour stage. He's done it before on more than one occasion.
MVG's starting to miss now. I think he genuinely thought it's done 8-5. But now Ian White he's in control right now. If he can hold him here, which is very likely, he still has to break Michael in the last leg. Could we be going to a last leg decider?
59.
Well, after the last title, I think we may well be. 59 for Van Gerwen leaves him on 3-2-3. Ian White can get down to below a ton here quite comfortably.
Is Michael banking on the streak?
100.
Down to less than a ton. And I think Michael Van Gerwen may already be thinking about the all-important 15th and final leg.
Yeah, these darts for Michael are range finders for the next leg. he wants to go bananas on the first 3 of the next leg, you're thinking. But Ian White's got to finish it off first. Double 8. All the way we go. 7s each. One leg for £15,000 extra and the title.
What a finish that was by Ian White, and there was a lot of pressure on that, even though Van Gerwen was well adrift in that leg. But here we go into the decider. Van Gerwen goes first and starts off with 93. That may give Ian White a little bit of encouragement. 93, however, is met with
96.
3 points the difference.
As you were.
Fine margin.
96.
1 treble visits in last leggers. Or good.
Well, they both came in to this final with a very similar tournament average. Van Gerwen shading it by just a couple of points. The first 9 average are similar again. 8 180s apiece. The stats are being borne out here in the way this final has been played out.
Right. Ian White is going to have to be really smart now from 305.
138.
Where's he going to go?
15s, 18s or bull? Or is he going to go straight for the 60? Well, there's the 5. Needs a 60. Doesn't get it. 64. And Van Gerwen should be licking his lips. That treble 19, so many times in this tournament, has been his best mate.
And guess what? It could be Michael Van Gerwen winning in a final leg decider once again on the Pro Tour. He's done it so many times before. The bullseye was the call for Paul Nicholson, and it may not matter because Van Gerwen looking at tops, and Michael Van Gerwen secures European Tour title number 32 of his career. It's number 4 of this year, and once again with an average of 101.22, he comes out on top in the deciding leg, and there is no stopping him. Despite the best efforts of Ian White, who averaged just under 100. A much better display by Ian White in the final compared to 7 days ago. But once again, it's the same old story. Michael Van Gerwen, for the 3rd time, is the champion at the Austrian Darts Open.